Be honest with yourself for a second. Have you ever checked your bank account, seen the balance, and thought, I make decent money, so why does it feel like I'm still behind? You're paying your bills. You're not reckless. You're doing what everyone told you was responsible, and yet saving feels slow, investing feels confusing, and every time you finally get a little momentum, something knocks you right back to zero. Here's the scary part. Most people don't realize they're playing the money game wrong until 10 years have already passed. Not because they're lazy, not because they're bad with money, but because no one ever taught them the rules that actually matter. Introduction. My name is Prime, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, investing, and how people quietly sabotage their own financial future without realizing it. If you're someone who works hard, earns money, but still feels like you're not getting ahead, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, we're breaking down the 7 money rules most people only learn a decade too late. And once you see these, you can't unsee them. Some of these are uncomfortable. Some will challenge things you've believed for years. And at least one of them will probably make you say, wow, I wish I knew this earlier. Let's get into it. Rule number 1. Income doesn't make you wealthy. Control does. Here's the thing most people get completely backwards. They think the solution to their money problems is more income. If I could just make another $10,000. If I get that promotion. If my side hustle finally takes off. But here's what most people don't realize. Income alone has almost no correlation with wealth. According to the Federal Reserve, nearly 36% of households earning over $100,000 still can't cover a $400 emergency without borrowing. Let that sink in. 6-figure earners, living paycheck to paycheck. Why? Because money doesn't disappear. It flows. And if you don't control the flow, it doesn't matter how much comes in. Think of your finances like a leaky bucket. Pouring more water in doesn't help if the holes are still there. Here's a simple example. Person A earns $60,000 and saves $600 a month. Person B earns $120,000 and saves $300 a month. After 10 years, without even factoring in investing, Person A has $72,000 more saved. This is where it gets really interesting. Control is a behavioral skill, not a math problem. Lifestyle inflation is driven by psychology, status, comparison, and comfort creep. We adapt incredibly fast to better circumstances, and then we reset our definition of normal. Rule number 1 is this. Wealth starts when your spending stops rising with your income. Rule number 2. The first $10,000 is harder than the next $100,000. Now you might be thinking, that sounds nice, but saving is hard. You're right, but not for the reason you think. The first $10,000 feels impossible because you're fighting behavior, not math. Early on, every dollar has a job. Rent, groceries, gas, stress relief, fun, emergencies, there's no margin. But here's what changes after that first milestone. Momentum. Once you have savings, you stop panicking. When you stop panicking, you stop making emotional decisions. When decisions become logical instead of emotional, money compounds faster. This is backed by research from behavioral economists like Daniel Kahneman. Financial stress literally reduces cognitive bandwidth. In plain English, being broke makes it harder to make good decisions. The first $10,000 isn't about the money. It's about proving to yourself that progress is possible. That belief alone changes everything. Rule number 3. Time is more important than talent. Look, people love to believe that successful investors are just smarter. They're not. According to a Vanguard study, over 90% of long-term investment returns come from asset allocation and time in the market, not picking winning stocks. Here's the math nobody explains clearly. If you invest $500 a month starting at age 25, earning an average 8%, you'll have about $1.4 million by age 65. If you wait until 35 and invest the same amount, you end up with around $650,000. That's a $750,000 difference caused by waiting 10 years. Same money, same effort, different start time. This is where people get angry because no one told them early enough. Rule number 3. You don't need to be brilliant. You need to start early and stay consistent. Rule number 4. Debt is a tax on your future self. Here's a hard truth. Debt isn't just a monthly payment. It's a claim on your future time. Let's take a common example. A $30,000 car loan at 7% over 6 years costs about $6,800 in interest. That's $6,800 you worked for and never got to keep. Now imagine instead you invested just that interest at 8% over 30 years. That $6,800 becomes over $68,000. This is why consumer debt is so dangerous. It doesn't just cost you today, it compounds against you. Now, I'm not saying all debt is evil, but here's the rule most people learn too late. If debt doesn't increase your future earning power or net worth, It's working against you. That realization alone can save you hundreds of thousands of dollars over a lifetime. Rule number 5. Your environment matters more than your willpower. Here's what most people don't realize. Money decisions are rarely logical, they're environmental. If spending is easy and saving is hard, you'll spend. If debt is automatic and investing is manual, you'll borrow. That's not a character flaw. That's human behavior. Psychologists call this choice architecture. For example, automatic 401. K enrollment increases participation by over 60%. People save more when money is deducted before they see it. Friction changes behavior more than motivation. So the rule is simple. Design your financial life so the right decision happens by default. Automate savings. Automate investing. Increase friction on spending. Willpower is unreliable. Systems are not. Rule number 6. Net worth matters more than income, but nobody talks about it. Income is flashy. Net worth is quiet. Income impresses people you don't know. Net worth protects the people you love. According to Credit Suisse, the median net worth of Americans is under $200,000, even near retirement. That's not because people didn't work hard. It's because they never focused on ownership. Here's a simple framework. Income equals effort. Net worth equals leverage. Owning assets, stocks, businesses, real estate means your money works even when you don't. If your net worth isn't growing, your income is lying to you. Rule number 7. Money problems are emotional problems in disguise. This is the one nobody wants to admit. Most financial mistakes aren't math mistakes, they're emotional ones. Spending to relieve stress. Avoiding investing out of fear. Overworking to feel valuable. Money amplifies who you already are. Here's the shift that changes everything. Stop asking, how can I make more money? Start asking, why do I make the decisions I do? Awareness creates control. Control creates progress. Look, if you take nothing else from this video, remember this. You're not behind because you're bad with money. You're behind because nobody gave you the rules early enough. But now you know, and knowing these rules 10 years earlier can mean less stress, more freedom, more options. So take one action today, just one. Automate a savings transfer. Increase your investment by 1%. Pay off a toxic debt. Small moves compound into massive change. If this video helped you think differently about money, hit the like button. It tells the algorithm to show this to people who need it. And if you want more content that helps you build wealth intelligently over time, subscribe to Prime with Time. Because money isn't about luck. It's about learning the rules before it's too late.